It's Star Wars Day, but it's also week 21 of Clear Start Monday. So, welcome. I'm John Heyman, a mental performance activation coach, and tonight, your host. And each Monday, we do three things: we ground your nervous system, we write through a few honest questions, and you leave with one clear move for the week. You will not be put on the spot. This is not group therapy. This is a reset. Tonight, we're going somewhere most personal development never actually goes in a public setting like this. We've named the voice, and we've caught it over these last few weeks. Tonight, we're going to go a little bit deeper. We're going to ask whose voice that we're actually hearing. But before we talk about anything, before we think about anything, I wonder if you can hear me now. Just let your body arrive. Just breathe. Let the air come into your lungs. Let it fill you up. And then let it go. I'd like to invite you to close your eyes if that feels comfortable. Go ahead and feel your feet on the ground. Notice all the different points that your feet are touching the floor. Go ahead and find your big toe on one foot. Just notice it. Go ahead and find your big toe on your other foot. See if you can locate your pinky toe on both feet. Go ahead and wiggle all your toes for me. I'd like to invite you to notice where your body is touching whatever you're sitting on. Go ahead and unclench your jaw. Relax your face and your skull. Roll your shoulders back and drop them. Go ahead and take in one long, slow breath through your nose. And just notice the sensation of air hitting your nostrils. Inhale for a count of 4. And pause at the top of your next breath for a count of 7. And then gently exhale through your mouth for a count of 8. Good. Most people already start their week reacting, solving, bracing, preparing for what's coming. And if that's where you came in tonight, that's exactly why we're here. There's nothing to achieve, there's nothing to perform. You don't need to be on, just be present. I'd like to invite you to a visualization. Keep your eyes closed if that feels comfortable. Imagine your mind as a snow globe. And inside that glass, your thoughts, your worries, the stress, the things outside of your control in your life, like other people's moods, circumstances that you can't control, the what ifs, these are all the snowflakes kicking around inside. And all week long, that snow globe has been getting stirred up. Every notification, every responsibility, every demand, every shift of attention is one of those snowflakes falling. Every interaction you've taken on emotionally, every moment that you felt rushed, behind, or overwhelmed is just another flake inside that snow globe. I'd like to invite you to picture setting that snow globe down gently, easily, hands off. No effort, just stillness. Watch the pieces float and fall. breathe. One by one. Let them come in and let them settle. Each piece drifting down, resting at the bottom. Notice the moment that the last flake falls. The water has become clearer, and it's not because you forced anything, but because you stopped stirring it up. If your globe hasn't settled yet, that's okay. You didn't do it wrong. We're just noticing. So ask yourself quietly, what am I carrying into this session tonight that I do not need right now? Whatever comes up for you, just name it. You don't need to fix it. You don't need to understand it. Just name it. Just admit that you're carrying it, and for this session, set it down. So what we're doing tonight. Most of us assume that the critical voice in our head is ours. We've built it. We've earned it. And it is the honest part of us that we feel is telling the truth. But what if it isn't? What if that voice learned to speak from someone else? Someone who was supposed to be safe. Someone who was supposed to want good things for you. Someone who was supposed to protect you. What if the impossible standard that you've been failing to meet was never yours to begin with? I realize that's not a comfortable question, but it could be one of the most important ones you ask yourself this year. So go ahead and grab something to write with. It's the same rules every week. Do not write the right answer. Write the honest one. So think about the critical voice you hear most often. The one that measures you. The one that judges you. That tells you that you're falling short. Describe it specifically. What does it actually say to you? Use its exact words if you can. When does it show up the loudest for you? Are there specific situations that tend to trigger this judge voice? Don't analyze it. Just write down and describe it like you're reporting what you've heard. All right. Oh, here we go again. All I want to do is push this button, and it's not going to give it to me. Oh, no. I'll be right back again. Hold on, friends. All right. Do I have my mouse back yet? No, not yet. Okay, one second. Man, it's like the second week in a row that this has happened. I might have to get a new mouse. How about that? All right, so here's what I was trying to accomplish. Let's see here. Oh, goodness. Well, apparently it won't let me start my timer this week. Oh, perfect. Well, I appreciate your patience, everybody. Give me 1 second while I sort this out here. What is happening? Yeah, it refuses to let me start my counter inside of. Yeah, it's just gonna keep spam opening windows. Um, well, that's unfun. How about that? Well, anyways, here's a 3 minute timer, and we're going to. Oh, let's see here. Oh my goodness, look at this professional. All right, 3 minute timer. Holy goodness. All right, 3 minutes is on the clock. Think about the critical voice that you're hearing most often. Think about the one that measures you, judges you. It tells you that you're falling short. Describe it specifically. What does it actually say? Got about 2 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock here. Go ahead and write it down, and I'm going to see if I can sort this out. Got just over 2 minutes left here. What does that voice usually say to you? Use its exact words if you can. When does it show up the loudest? What situations tend to trigger it the most? Just describe it like you're reporting what it says. You got a minute and a half to go. It's about 40 seconds to go here, friends. I've got the timer pulled up, but it's in a new window, and we'll have to get there when we get to it. All right, got about 25 seconds here. Think about that critical voice. Think about what it's saying to you, and just write it down. When does it show up the loudest? What tends to trigger it? Three, two, one. All right. Question 2. We will have an actual timer this time. You won't be able to see the countdown, but at least you'll be able to hear the music. So, question 2. Look at what you just wrote. That voice had to come from somewhere. It was shaped by someone. Someone whose words got inside early enough to start sounding like the truth. So, what if that voice isn't yours at all? What if that voice learned to speak from someone close to you? Someone who was supposed to be in your corner? When you really listen to the specific words it uses, the specific things it tells you that you're not, whose standards does it sound like it's actually measuring you against? And what does that tell you about where that voice came from? Take your time, let it surface. You have 3 minutes. When you really listen to the specific words that that voice uses and what you wrote down, the specific things it tells you that you're not. Whose standards does it sound like it's actually measuring you against? And what does that tell you about where this voice came from? Take your time and let it surface. Got just about a minute and a half to go here. When you really listen to the specific words that this voice is using, whose standards does it sound like it's actually measuring you against? All right, that is time, my friends. Let me reset this so we've got it when we start again here in just a moment. All right. Very good, very good. So, question 3. Now, here's what I want you to sit with. That voice is from the past. A specific person, a specific time, a set of circumstances that you didn't choose and couldn't have changed. The past is fixed. It cannot be rewritten, and that's a universal truth. But you are not in the past. You are right here, right now, in this very moment. You're choosing to exist for yourself. That agreement that you made with that voice in your head, it's not permanent. It's not a contract. You can change it. So here's the question. What would your life actually look like if you stopped living by that voice? Is that possible? What's one thing that would be different by this time next week if that voice no longer had authority over you? Write it down. You got 3 minutes, my friends. What would your life actually look like if you stopped living by the words of that inner critic? Is it possible for you? What's one thing that would be different by this time next week if that voice no longer had authority over you? Got about a minute and 30 to go here. What would your life look like if you stopped listening to that internal critic? And what's one thing that would be different by this time next week if that voice no longer had authority over you? Got just over a minute to go here. All right, friends. So our time for question 3 is up. So here's what I want to name. Most personal development content stops at awareness. That's what I've been talking about for the last few months. Name the pattern, watch it, breathe, process it. But that voice keeps coming back. And most people assume that that means that they're failing. It doesn't. They're not failing. It means that the voice has roots that awareness alone cannot remove. Those roots were planted by someone else, and that's the truth. Someone whose job was to believe you. Someone whose job was to believe in you. Someone who perhaps tried their best to protect you. Someone who maybe didn't do that job very well, but they did the best they could. So here's the hard truth. You have been trying to satisfy a voice that was never going to be satisfied. Because it's never actually been about you. That voice is someone else's perspective and influence that is in your mind. It is a phantom from the past. It's not a character flaw to have this. It's an inherited wound dressed up as a personal failing. The first step to putting that down, to putting all of this critical stuff down, is to recognizing that you don't have to carry that voice. You do not. Your anchor phrase this week. It's really simple. That voice was never an authority on me. Every time you start picking on yourself, every time you catch yourself being upset at someone else, every time you're irritated that your coffee's cold or that your turn signal, didn't work, anything like that, notice that feeling and say, do I need this energy? Realize that that's your judge speaking, that's your inner critic. And just say that that voice was never an authority on me. Not shut up, not you're wrong, not what's wrong with me for still hearing this, I done the work. Just that voice was never an authority on me. That phrase creates one beat of distance between you and that voice in your head. In one moment, you can be the one observing the voice instead of living inside of it. Use it once, this purpose. Use it once on purpose this week. That voice was never the authority on me. And that's enough. So tonight you did something worth acknowledging. You looked at that voice honestly. You started to ask where it came from, which is way, way further in and introspective work than most go. And you made a specific plan to respond to it. That is not journaling. That's doing the actual work. So celebrate yourself. Celebrate yourself. Like, whatever came up for you, as painful as it seems or as easy as it seems, that voice and that burden is not yours. You just think it is. So if you find yourself wanting to go deeper, the Saboteur assessment is free and it takes about 5 minutes. It will show you exactly which patterns have been running your system, where they came from, and what it's been costing you. And that's a starting point from here if you'd like to go further. rvscoaching.com/saboteur, or feel free to reach out to me directly at john@rvscoaching.com. If you have any questions, if you'd like some guidance, if there's any of this that's resonating with you and you're stuck, please reach out to me. I believe in you, and I trust in your capacity to keep choosing what's right for your life. I will see you next Monday.